So, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back with my ultra cheap calculator, and we're going to put it on the maximum test for its durability. So, the first thing that I'm going to try is to put it in the fridge. Not in the fridge, but in the freezer, because there might be some times when you just need to work outside with the calculator. And I'm going to leave it for an hour and see you then. I'm back after about an hour, and let's check how the calculator is doing. It's pretty cold, but is it working? Let's find out. No. Oh, it's actually working. About something like that. Maybe you can't see, but it's working really slowly. Let's unfreeze it and do the next testing. So, let's move on. So, let's move on to the next test. I'm going to drop this calculator, which is probably unfrozen by now. Yes, it's unfrozen. I'm going to drop it from 1 meter height. So it's 1 meter right here, and seems like everything is okay. It's working. Let's move to the 2 meters. That didn't sound so well, but is it working? Yes, it is. And now the 3 meters, or 2.5. Just I'm going to throw it down from the ceiling. Did you hear that? That sounded like it survived. So, let's move to the next test. So, the next test is dropping some water on the calculator. The casing really helps when you have some water splashing over. But usually when you are working with calculator, it's open. So let's try how bad is the water for it. Perfectly fine. And more water means everything is perfectly fine. This calculator is water resistant. So let's move on to the next test. Let's move on to the next test. We are going to dry our calculator with a lighter. The casing survived it, I say, pretty well. What about the calculator? Also, everything seems fine. Still working. So, you can try to draw it with a lighter. So, the next test is 2 meter drop test to the concrete. Let's see how good results we can get now. Everything is perfectly fine. Let's try again. But now I'm going to open it and throw it like that. That calculator is hard. It can survive it. So let's move on to the next test. That wasn't enough, so I'm going to try to burn it again. That calculator just won't die. Let's move on to the next. Earlier I checked that this calculator is water resistant. Now I'm going to check is it waterproof. It's full of water, so... and... it's flipping working! No way! It's a miracle! This calculator is waterproof, it's fireproof, it's drop-proof, it can't die. It's epic. So let's move on to the next test. After all these tests that I've done to this calculator, it's still working, but there are some really big problems, like 7 multiplied is 0, or 8 is just 0. But I'm going to just destroy it for fun. So let's move on to the test. So I'm on a bridge with this calculator, and the next test is just going to be a pretty big drop down. So let's start. We can... oh, I can see where it landed. Pretty shit zoom, and see you down when we are going to test if it works now. So we are down under the bridge, and let's check our calculator. It's handy. What? It works! It flipping works! What? That's epic. Let's test it again. So, the next test is throwing this calculator down these stairs. Let's check it out. That wasn't hard. I can do better. Of course it works perfectly fine. There's something like that. And what about that? That sounded like a crack. And what? Perfect. This calculator is just epic. Yes, let's move on to something better. I just remembered about one small test that I forgot earlier. That's stepping on the calculator. That didn't sound that very well. I'm standing at it. Perfectly fine. Look at that, the calculator is just laughing at me. Let's move on to something better. So we are back with probably the last test. I'm going to burn it using a sparkler. Thing at enough heat to melt aluminium. Watch. Probably pretty slow. But it's hot. So the destruction is going to be pretty big. I think so. This calculator is not going to work out like this. I'm pretty sure. but we are going to see that for a few seconds. So, the sparkler burnt, but what? The calculator is pretty much intact. Let's turn it on. It works! What? It works! So, thanks for watching and goodbye!